Feeling buried in the never-ending to-do list that comes with running a business, managing orders, tracking expenses, it's a lot. That's where Amazon Business steps in. They've got smart buying solutions like Spend Visibility, a cloud-based system to track your buying patterns so you can optimize your savings, and bulk buying so you can continue to save costs on select products with quantity discounts. Smart, right? Let Amazon Business take care of the admin so you can focus on what really matters, growing your business. Check out Smart Business Buying at amazonbusiness.com.
A Business Prime membership is required to access Spend Visibility.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
When it comes to playtime, never let your squad down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Push your gameplay beyond performance with 13th Gen Intel Core processors. Upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E. And maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search and head to Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Where'd you get those shoes? Easy. They're from DSW. Because DSW has the exact right shoes for whatever you're into right now. You know, like the sneakers that make office hours feel like happy hour. The boots that turn grocery aisles into runways. And all the styles that show off the many sides of you, from daydreamer to multitasker and everything in between. Because you do it all in really great shoes. Find a shoe for every you at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Last time on Obscurum, Invasion of the Drones.
I saw some type of craft that just disappeared. One minute it was there and one minute it wasn't.
Somebody's making money doing this, otherwise it wouldn't exist.
Normally it would say like local, like if it's a local call, it would say Sterling, Colorado. Where it would say where it's from, it had listed Palestinian territory.
I have heard, and I haven't seen. I seen a picture of like a green substance that's been dropped.
Could you make out that it was in fact a drone?
Sounds better than a UFO, identified flying object, basically. Yeah.
A quick note. Some material in this episode is graphic and unsettling. Listener discretion is advised.
The first time was Sunday night. The items were in a, I guess what you would call kind of a mesh bag, and then there was a frozen mass in there.
When I finally got the answer about what was in that mesh bag, I'd had a crazy 24 hours that started when Marcy added to the already strangeness of this story by saying something was falling from drones at night. But that was only the beginning. Chapter 5, Bad Juju.
I'm glad they have coffee here. I was up so late last night, researching this, looking through articles.
If the green stuff was being dropped from these mysterious objects, someone had seen it firsthand, taken a picture, and shared it. I racked my brain to figure out who may know more. I left a message with a friend who used to be a local reporter. Then I searched for information I'd heard about a crew of people who'd banded together to investigate the sightings themselves.
When I was little, I had recurring dreams, and in those dreams, I was old, and in those dreams, I was exploring in the different mountain ranges, different sites. I think I started looking maybe when I was 17 or 18, and I would just look with satellite and maps and anything I could get a hold of.
When I connected with Rod Miller, who started the group. He described himself as a concerned local with a lifelong passion for studying geography and ancient history.
Everyone thinks these are drones, for better or worse. People are saying there's drones out here.
For me and the group that I started, we used the word drone because it was comfortable to other people. Because if you mention UFO, the drone was, you could talk about it without people stamping you crazy.
At what point do you go ahead and start this group after those first few sightings?
Right. Okay, we were out, and literally we counted, I don't know, it's like 80-some of these craft. And I have 9 grandkids, 4 kids, and they all live in this area. Instantly, my concern was, one, they weren't legal. They didn't have the 3-light system that's, whether you're military or whether you're not military, that is normally what they have. So that's pretty much what got it started.
By this point, the group had a small presence on social media. However, I became aware that the most devoted members had moved to private channels to share their thoughts.
What happens is the bright lighted orb, drone, whatever you want to call it, will get up in the sky, and then if you don't see it get there, it just looks like another star up there. But as it's sitting there, you're watching it, zoomed in on it with your camera. When you do, you'll just see these little red lights drop out of it, and then those little red lights will work the sky. And I say work because it seems like they're working, and they'll work their way down to the ground. And a lot of times when they get near the ground, then this, like a red beam of light, will go across the ground.
There was something very compelling about Rod. He had tattoos covering his face and arms, a gray beard, and piercing eyes. He was passionate, and I had a feeling I was only beginning to see how driven he actually was. Rod never mentioned that he'd seen anything falling from unexplained aircraft, but he did suggest that I contact a cattle rancher named Alex Peterson. Alex had locked in on one of the aircraft with his gun and a thermal scope at night, recording what he saw.
What in the fuck? Oh, that is beyond creepy. There's 2 objects. It's really hard to keep on. It's coming right over me, and I'm trying to hold steady.
He didn't pull the trigger.
Oh, there's another one coming off of it. What in the hell?
Alex described the scene to me that took place above his farm.
I was watching it, and it was coming right down the river with blinking lights, a red blinking light and a solid white light. And all of a sudden, it turned toward me. The lights turned off, so I'm like, oh, okay, where did it go? So I looked through my scope, and then I could see this square 5x5 box. It was orange with bars going through it. It was the weirdest damn thing I ever seen. And then all of a sudden, 3 bright lights, which I could only see through my scope. So they had the infrared. I'm not kidding you, my hair was standing up.
Do you feel like this drone was targeting you specifically and knew you were there?
Yes, absolutely.
As we visited, it didn't take long to realize the ranch held many secrets.
I get up there, the cow is setting upright and is completely cut apart. But she's sitting like a cow sleeps. I was like, what in the heck? All the neck, the skin off of her neck, all the way down to her shoulder was just gone. I looked up under the underside of her skull because all the meat was off of her, this side of her head, and there was a hole right up into her brain. Bad juju.
Since 2013, 13 cows had been violently killed in different areas of the ranch. There was no explanation as to how they died. Alex showed me photos of what he experienced in the pasture. His description of one of the deaths was extremely disturbing.
She had been dropped, and you could see she'd been dropped just from the feces that had been shot out. I mean, like 30 feet. She's all busted up. The calf was gone. She would have been 6 months pregnant. And then all the jaw and the tongue was gone again. And the eyeballs were still there. So it was not a predator, because that's the first thing they would have done. I looked around for tracks. There's no predator tracks. There's no pickup tracks, nothing. I pulled my pickup up about 15 feet away from it, and I called my brother. And so him and his son came up. We started walking up, and I walked up to the cow, and he's walking up, and my phone just went, no service. As soon as he got up, within 150 feet, no service. His son, 150 feet, no service. We walked back, and then our phones would work. I went and got back in my pickup, which is a brand new pickup, dead. Dead as a doornail.
His cell phone lost service and truck battery died in close proximity to a dead cow. It was my assumption that whatever killed these animals had to approach them on the ground. Alex was convinced it came from the sky.
There was no tracks. You couldn't find any foot tracks, any pickup tracks, and how anybody would even know how to get in there, because it's very inaccessible. 2, how would they get the cow down to do that? And 3, they were visibly dropped. Looking at the cows, they were all busted up. I mean, they were busted up bad. So they had to have fallen from at least 50 to 100 feet.
Would you describe yourself as someone who's fascinated by strange aircrafts?
No, not necessarily. I raise cattle. I've been around cattle my entire life. And when this started happening, I knew something was wrong with it, because I've seen, cattle die. I've seen all that before, but this was different. Now I'll say, with the mutilations and just the weird conditions, and then the drones started flying over, just weird things. I pay a lot more attention now.
This is the Bloomberg Business Week Minute, brought to you by Amazon Business. I'm Carol Masser. Green stocks have had a rough few years as the industry has struggled due to high interest rates, which made it more costly for green companies to get financing, homeowners to buy solar panels, and drivers to buy EVs. Add on top of that pandemic lockdowns and supply chain issues, and the S&P Global Clean Energy Index is down by almost 2/3 since 2021. And yet, some green investors are finding a silver lining in the presidency of Donald Trump, despite his anti-green policies. And that's because of low market valuations and improving earnings outlook. Investors single out battery producers as more electric grids install them to manage loads and store power when solar or wind installations are idle. Others say check out clean energy companies outside the U.S., noting China's strong support for green tech. That's the Bloomberg Business Week Minute, brought to you by Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies?
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of restless nights? At Leesa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Lisa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support, with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to lisa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses and 2 free pillows. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Lisa just for you.
Chapter 6: Space Potatoes. I had a missed call from the reporter I'd reached out to that morning. I called her back, and it wasn't long before she told me about a couple who lived outside of Imperial. They'd been visiting with the sheriff near their home when they overheard through his police radio that drones were dropping things on county roads, and someone had gathered them all up. This was now the second time I'd heard about stuff falling from flying objects, in addition to Alex's assumption that at least one of his cows was killed on impact. Were these reports true, or just another small-town rumor?
So what do you really think is going on with all this?
I don't know. People have drones in the county. They use them for cattle and stuff, but not like on a big scale, and they're never this big. But the weirdest thing is people have seen strange lights in this area forever. There's even been, well, you know how small towns are, but people have been talking and saying these things may be dropping something out of them, and so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think tonight I just may call it a night and come home.
After a quick call with my mom a few hours later, I pulled off the highway near the Imperial Airport to see one of those beautiful Nebraska sunsets. As it got dark, mystifying lights began to appear in the sky. It was at this time that I was sent a picture of what Marcy said the craft were dropping. In the photo, I could see what Marcy had mentioned. It looked like they were being kept behind a chain-link gate in a dark storage facility and didn't resemble anything I'd seen before. They were capsules, roughly 6 to 12 inches long and wrapped tightly in some type of green covering. I'd heard a couple deputies from the nearby town of Grant, just north of Imperial, may have had them in their possession. I dialed Perkins County Sheriff James Bruggeman's office, and as luck would have it, he wasn't in. He was supposed to be back that afternoon, so I left a message. But I soon realized it may take me going there in person to get him to talk. The courthouse is located near the edge of town. It's an older brick building with 3 levels. I parked in front, walked up a few flights of stairs, and went straight to the front desk. I was told the sheriff was in his office, but unavailable to talk. I tried connecting with the receptionist by explaining that I'd grown up in Imperial and played football for the local high school. I wasn't leaving until I had answers about those capsules. I was eventually led back to the sheriff's office and given an interview. I had many questions, but knew I couldn't lead with the capsules. I didn't want to make him feel as if he couldn't trust me with sensitive information.
I'll go ahead and just have you say your full name.
James Bruggeman.
Okay, and you can go ahead and say your title too.
Sheriff.
Sheriff. Here in Perkins County.
Here in Perkins County, yep, Perkins County Sheriff.
When did you first start to hear about these drone sightings in your specific area?
The first time was Sunday night, around 8:30.
And what's been your biggest concern?
I think the biggest concern is just the uncertainty. It would be nice to know who owns the drones and what the purpose of the flights is. We're working with agencies within the federal government, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Homeland Security, the Nebraska State Patrol, which is a state agency. Again, like I said, I think everybody's putting their minds together and investigating to get to the bottom of this as quickly as they can.
Have you ever seen anything remotely similar to this?
This is the first time we've experienced anything like this, or that I have, yeah.
As this investigation continues, would there ever be, would you ever shoot one down?
Anytime you shoot a weapon, there are a lot of things that you have to consider. And, a big concern of mine would be what goes up must come down. So if you shoot a round of ammunition into the sky, if you hit your target, that's good. Target's going to come down somewhere. You're responsible for that. If you miss the target, you got a shell up there, a bullet that's still got to come down. So I don't know that we would take very lightly shooting things out of the air. If we were requested to do so, we would probably go back to the agency that made that request and let them know that we felt maybe they could do that themselves.
And I've talked to a lot of people around town in Imperial and west of town and in different areas, and a couple of them have even said that these drones could be dropping things out of them.
There were some items that had shown up on the ground. So there were some things that showed up out in the country on a county road. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. The items were in I guess what you would call kind of a mesh bag, and then there was a frozen mass in there. What you're referring to is something called a track log or a pivot track, and it's a device that it's a bag that farmers hang on the span between the wheels on the pivots. Somebody had taken some of those off of a pivot and likely thrown them on the back of a pickup and was driving down a country road and lost a few of them. It was just coincidental they were picked up in an area where drones had been seen traversing, back and forth across that area, and I think that's how that speculation all started. Those have been identified by the company that manufactures them as being used products. It was definitely something that caught our attention, and that we looked into immediately to figure out, what was going on.
He wanted me to believe these capsules were used on a pivot sprinkler system, even though the sheriff was convinced they weren't being released from unknown objects. I'd later learn that field tests for methamphetamines were conducted on the track logs because initially no one could confirm what they were.
So yeah, they called me. I assume they probably checked on our website and saw those. They know what we do for business. They know me personally.
I soon met Dave Jansen. His company produces the track logs Sheriff Bruggeman spoke of.
They're basically about a 6-inch by foot cylinder and in a net wrap bag, like a mesh net that you would put over to keep birds out of a raspberry bush or something like that. That's what it looks like, and then it's a gel inside of there that's held together. It's kind of a clear white gel, and that's pretty much all they are.
With that description, it sounded like the logs could be from another world. A few people even had their own name for them.
Space potatoes? Yeah, exactly. That was just hilarious to me. But if you know what it is, it's innocuous, and you're just like, whatever.
What was the story they told you of how they found these track logs?
Yeah, they'd found them on a road in the middle of the night where the drones had been, and that thing had showed up, so that made everybody nervous, and they sent it, I believe they sent it to the state to have it analyzed because they weren't sure what it was before they got a hold of me. Honestly, I laughed the whole time. It was quite hilarious to get that phone call.
You're from a small town. I'm from a small town. What do you make of this, whole situation of people seeing these things in the sky?
Oh, the drones? Well, the drones are interesting. I've got some friends in the military that said it sounds like a military operation. I've got friends in conspiracy groups that say it's definitely some sort of, roundup thing for the rural people. And I know that one sheriff's office put out a notice saying they wanted to have people looking for such and such a vehicle. Within an hour, that whole thing had been reversed, and they said there's nothing to see here.
Officers were now searching for vehicles. Why share a description? and change the story. Something wasn't adding up. Coming up on Obscurum, Invasion of the Drones.
A guy from FAA there that said that they had reports of shots fired at drones.
As we was looking at some pictographs, a dark shadow swooped down over us.
Going forward, we are not going to talk about any of the details that any of us undertake to try to get to the bottom of what's going on.
This is the Bloomberg Business Week Minute, brought to you by Amazon Business. I'm Carol Masser. Green stocks have had a rough few years as the industry has struggled due to high interest rates, which made it more costly for green companies to get financing, homeowners to buy solar panels, and drivers to buy EVs. Add on top of that pandemic lockdowns and supply chain issues, and the S&P Global Clean Energy Index is down by almost 2/3 since 2021. And yet, some green investors are finding a silver lining in the presidency of Donald Trump, despite his anti-green policies. And that's because of low market valuations and improving earnings outlook. Investors single out battery producers as more electric grids install them to manage loads and store power when solar or wind installations are idle. Others say check out clean energy companies outside the U.S., noting China's strong support for green tech. That's the Bloomberg Business Week Minute, brought to you by Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
Wasn't that delicious? So good.
Your bill, ladies?
I got it. No, I got it. Seriously, I insist. I insisted first. Oh, don't be silly. You don't be silly.
People with the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card prefer to pay because they earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors for it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No!
The Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of restless nights? At Leesa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Leesa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support, with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to Leesa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses and 2 free pillows. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Leesa just for you.
If you have any information surrounding the events detailed in this podcast or have your own similar account, please visit our website at obscurumseries.com and share your story. You'll also find exclusive behind-the-scenes content on the site. To connect with us on social media, you can follow at obscurum_series and at Gabe Lenners on all social platforms. Obscurum is produced by Imagine and Lenners Entertainment for iHeartMedia. This series is written, hosted, and produced by me, Gabe Lenners. It's executive produced by Ron Howard, Brian Grazer, Carl Welker, Nathan Clokey, Nikki Etour, and me. Additional production by Jacob Plew. Music and sound effects courtesy of Epidemic Sound. Brand management and digital design by Labyrinth Brand Co. Video editing by Alex Semikopenko. This project was mixed and mastered by Jacob Plew. Special thanks to Dan Bodansky, Josh Hiller, Keaton Stortz, Bryson Keyes, Ailey Birchfield, David Wasserman, Katrina Norvell, and my family. Obscurum Invasion of the Drones is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow now.
Hey, Janice Torres here.
And I'm Austin Hankwitz.
We're the hosts of Mind the Business Small Business Success Stories, produced by Ruby Studio and Intuit QuickBooks. Catch up on seasons 1 and 2 and join us for a brand new season of the podcast as we talk to small business owners about how they manage and grow their businesses with the help of platforms like Intuit QuickBooks.
Listen to Mind the Business Small Business Success Stories on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Tired of restless nights? At Leesa, they know good sleep is essential for mental, physical, and emotional health. From memory foam mattresses to hybrids that keep you cool all night long, Leesa's mattresses offer exceptional comfort and support with free delivery and 100 nights to try out your mattress in the comfort of your home. Go to Leesa.com today and get 20% off all mattresses and 2 free pillows. That's LEESA.com and use code IHEART for an extra $50 off your purchase. Remember, no matter who you are, there's a Leesa just for you.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate every love story with Pandora. Whether it's romantic, platonic, familial, or a gesture of self-love, Pandora's versatile designs let you express your unique connections in meaningful ways. Each piece tells a story of love or friendship that transcends materialism, turning every gift into a heartfelt message that connects hearts. From best friends to significant others, Pandora helps you honor the bonds that make life richer and more meaningful. Make the feeling last, from first sight to forever, on Valentine's Day and every day. Be love. Shop Pandora jewelry today, in-store or online at pandora.net.